Good evening. Welcome back to Home Bar. And as requested, I have received a lot many messages to show a classic Manhattan, and I'm gonna make it a classic Manhattan. But before we process the cocktail, I'm gonna tell you some a little story about Manhattan. You know, Manhattan was invented in 1870. If you search the history, and it was invented in Manhattan Club in New York. So before we start with this, there are so many things people ask. What whiskey you use, what kind of technique? Technique is definitely stirred. There's no other technique to it. Why I have put it the ice? Because I need to chill the mixing jar so that the temperature always keep the same. We will use traditionally the rye whiskey. There are a lot of choices out there. People nowadays making the Manhattan with Canadian whiskey or a bourbon or a blended scotch also. But traditionally, if you see, we use always a rye whiskey. Why rye whiskey? Rye whiskey is because of its spiciness and all. It is a well balanced drink than when you mix it with a sweet vermouth. So let's start with the process. Recipes can vary from bar to bar, from country to country. So my recipe, it is over here. Is the Indian traditional recipe. Most of the bar in India, they follow the same recipe. Might possibly it differs. So I'm going to use a 45 ml of rye whiskey, and then I'm going to use a 15 ml of sweet vermouth. And 1 dash of aromatic bitters. So generally what happened, some of the bar they follow 1 dash of orange bitter too, but again it depends from bar to bar which kind of bar you're working in. So after this I'm going to add some ice to it and give it a nice stir. This cocktail is very refreshing. If you love it, nothing like it. It is the best one in the in your bar menu. Once it is ready, the glass is already chilled. You can choose a martini glass. That is the best glass to serve it. Make sure there's no water left. Last not the least, pour the drink. And the garnish can be differ. Some people they prefer the cherry, and some they prefer the lemon zest. I prefer it traditionally with cherry, so I will go with cherry. And the cocktail is ready to go. Cheers.